Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a special video for you. So if you don't know already, I run the Hamilton Confessions Instagram account. It's like Hamilton_confessions. And just yesterday we hit 44,000 followers, so I'm so thankful for that. And today I wanted to kind of celebrate by doing a video for Hamilton Confessions. Because lately I've just been doing covers. The video I'm doing today is me reacting to your confessions, which I thought would be pretty cool because I don't have that much time anymore. So I used to, for those of you who have been a follower for a long time, you know that I used to put my own opinion under every single confession. But I don't really have time for that anymore, and I just want to focus on getting as many confessions out as I can, so I mainly just post them without my opinion. So I figured, hey, let me record this video and react to some of the confessions I've gotten over it's been about a year and a half now? Maybe like a year and like 3/4. It's almost been 2 years, so yeah. That's what I wanted to do for you guys today. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I just screenshotted a bunch of confessions. It was just random ones. I scrolled all the way down to the bottom. So when I first started, and there's stuff that was like 10, 15 hours ago even on here. So I'm just gonna get started, and they're just up on my phone here. So let's begin. The first one says, sometimes I feel like they jump too quickly between Bern and Philip's death. I wish there was a song where it showed Hamilton and Eliza arguing and talking about what had happened. I feel like he died and they just got back together immediately. So, I guess, yeah, like it would have been important, or like we'd understand more like what happened between this point, like Philip dying and it's quiet uptown. But honestly, like, it's a musical. We don't have time to hash through all the details. So I see why there's not a song in between. And you still can connect, like, what happened. You could tell Eliza was upset and she forgave him. Like, I don't think any important information was left out, so I don't think there's a need to have a song in between those two. So, the next one says, I honestly don't get why Peggy gets so much attention. She's only in 3 songs before she's no longer in it. Angelica is in the whole show, yet only a few people love her. And love was in, like, all caps. So, I am an Angelica fan. Angelica is my favorite character in the whole musical. So, but I don't have anything against Peggy. Like, I still think Peggy's a great character. She deserves to be loved, too. And, like, she's a Skylar sister. She's loved, Eliza's loved, Angelica's loved. I feel like Angelica's loved the least, but I don't really care. Like, it's not a big deal to me, honestly, so yeah. The next one says, I feel like Philip's character wasn't developed enough. I wish there was a song that had his reaction to the affair, or something that would show more of his character. He kind of just came in and went out. So, yeah, I guess Philip's character didn't have that much, like, time to grow. I mean, like, he physically grew because he was 9 and then he was, like, what, like 18 or whatever, however old he was when he died. But I feel like there's enough Philip in the musical. Like, the musical's about Hamilton, not about Philip, so I feel like there's enough Philip. There's no need for more Philip. Like, he's loved, you know who he is, you know what happened to him. Like, there's enough Philip. I don't think he needs any more character development. The next one says, I really cannot stand how people send in art to Mandy or Lexi with the skin tone darker for Angelica and lighter for Eliza. It's obvious that it was for Renee and Pippa. It's nice to send in stuff, but make it look like who you're giving it to. Mandy isn't darker toned like Renee, so don't send it to her if it is. So, I 100% agree. We all love the original Broadway cast and we all want to support them, but honestly, like, the new cast is amazing too. And it's hard enough coming in and replacing an original Broadway cast member, and then to receive, like, art and stuff and have it, like, obviously for the original Broadway cast member, not for you. Like, that's just gonna make them feel bad, and that's not why you send in art. Like, you send in art to make them happy and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're gonna send in art, I also agree. Make sure it's for that person. If you want to make art for Renee and Pippa, find a way to get it to them. Don't send it to the new cast members. It's just not nice. The next one says, I think that Lawrence' death was the saddest death in Hamilton. He died working to end slavery, but when he died, the slaves he freed were put back to work. He also died for nothing because the war was already over and he died in a minor skimmerish. Wow, I don't even know what that word is. His last letter from Hamilton before his death was the one announcing that he was going to get married, and he didn't respond to it. I don't think that Lauren's death was the saddest in the musical. Like, I personally think Philip's death was absolutely heartbreaking, but I do agree, like, it was sad. But, like, it definitely wasn't the saddest one in the musical. And the thing about his slaves, like, having to go back to work after they were freed, like, that's so sad. That sucks. The next one says, unlike everyone else I know that listens to Hamilton, I really don't like Satisfied. I feel like we already get the idea Angelica likes Hamilton and Helpless as well as other songs later in the track. I just don't think we need another song that feels exactly like Helpless. Okay. We all know I love Angelica. Satisfied was the first song that I heard from Hamilton, so it has a special place in my heart. I can never ever hate it. It's great. I think Satisfied is so vocally diverse and challenging. Like, she's rapping 1 second, she's singing 1 second, she's up here, then she's down here. Like, it is so vocally challenging, and the music is absolutely amazing. And I feel like in Satisfied you get the chance to really understand Angelica's point of view and how her feelings are towards Alex and the whole situation with Eliza getting to marry him and not her. So I think that Satisfied is a great song, and this person is just a hater. The next one is, I think it would be cool if Karen Olivlow, I'm so sorry I butchered that so bad, but I don't know how to say it. So it would be cool if Karen took over the part of Angelica because she would be amazing in the role. But it's pretty unlikely since she hasn't been on Broadway for years. So this confession was sent in on June 29th, 2016, which was obviously way before the Chicago cast was announced. And I think it's so cool that this person saw that Angelica in Karen and was like, oh, I hope she plays her, and then Karen did play her. So I really hope that person got to see Karen in the Chicago cast, because she's not in it anymore, but I hope that person got to see her because that's super cool. The next one says, if a song connects to another song in Hamilton, I have to listen to all the songs that connect to get to that one song. Example, A Winter's Ball to Helpless to Satisfied. I 100% agree. I think the transitions in Hamilton are so cool. I love the transition from Aaron Burster to My Shot, and yeah, although it's not really a transition, but the transition from History Has Its Eyes on You to Yorktown, I love listening to those songs together because I feel like it's just one big song. Like, I get the story and everything, and I think it's great. Same thing with The Winter's Ball and To Helpless and To Satisfied. I don't do it so much anymore, but like back when I first heard about Hamilton, it was the only thing I was listening to. I had to listen to it in order because like I just felt weird like not listening to it that way. So the next one says, I find it really sad that Eliza has to say we don't need a legacy, we don't need money, and that would be enough, because it's really sad that Eliza had to say that to him. Like, that's the only thing he cares about. So this confession directly connects to The Greatest Showman. So if you haven't seen it before, The Greatest Showman is a movie. First of all, you should see it right after you watch this video because it's absolutely amazing. I've seen it 7 times and I plan on seeing it a few more before it's out of the movie theater. But, so The Greatest Showman is the story of P.T. Barnum, who is the man who created the circus. He came from nothing. He was just a tailor's boy, and he grew up and he married this girl, and she was rich, just like Eliza and Hamilton. Hamilton had no money, Eliza had money, and they moved out, and he promised her this big life as grand as the one she was already living in, and that there would be money and happiness and all that. So it comes to later on in the story, and he is telling her, like, I'm sorry I'm not giving you the life that I promised you. And she's saying, all I need are our 2 little girls and you. That's the only thing I need to be happy. I don't need the money. He's like, what about the magic? And she's like, those 2 little girls, that's our magic. I don't need anything else. And I think that that's exactly what's going on in this scene, and that would be enough. And I just think like that connection between the 2 is pretty cool. And yes, I also find it really sad. Because, like, it is sad. Like, his focus is on, like, getting the money and all that. And she's just like, I don't need that. I don't need a legacy. I just need you. So, yeah. The next one says, I love how they portray King George as insane in You'll Be Back. He was insane in real life, but if you think about the song, it's so upbeat and has terrifying lyrics. He also doesn't move that much, which makes him seem even more insane. I totally agree. Like, he's all like da 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 da, but yet he's talking about literally killing people. So it's just like the contrast between the two is absolutely incredible. Okay, so the next confession says, to be honest, I like the music of Act 1 better, but the plot of Act 2 better. Like, Act 1 has so many bops, and the music is so catchy, but Act 2's storyline is so intertwined and interesting compared to the straight-line plot of Act 1, besides the romance between Alex and Eliza. I completely agree. All the popular songs are in Act 1, and I love Act 1. I love the music in Act 1. Like, if I had to sit there and listen to one act, I'd probably listen to Act 1, because, like, I don't know, it just has all the good songs. Like, I mean, not saying that the songs in Act 2 aren't great, but, like, Act 1 has Alexander Hamilton, My Shot, Helpless, Satisfied, Right Hand Man, Yorktown. Like, those are all really popular songs, really great songs. And Act 2 also has really great songs. So, like, it has What Did I Miss? Take a Break, Say No to This, Who Lives Who Dies Who Tells Your Story. Like, those are all great songs. There's great music in both acts, but I just find that the music in Act 1, like, snatches me more, you know? So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. The next confession says, okay, so I love Burn, but I wish Hamilton was there while Eliza sang it. Like, Eliza tells Hamilton how he hurt her and how her life is turning into flames, then she throws the letter into a fireplace. It would have made it more dramatic and show how hurt she is if Alex was there. I think it would have been cool for Alex to be there, but I also like that he isn't there, and it's just raw emotion with just Eliza and the audience. Like, it's just, your focus is on her. I feel like if Hamilton was there, you'd be like looking back and forth between the two, trying to figure out like his reactions to what she's saying to her burning the letters. And I just think that Burn is just Eliza's moment to get all of her feelings and anger out, and that's why it's just Eliza. The next one says, I honestly think that there should have been more character development with Lawrence. I saw the show when Jordan Fisher was there, and he did amazing, but I wish there was more for each person who plays that role to cover in Act 1. I think that Jordan was absolutely incredible as Lawrence and Philip. I got to see Jordan play Lawrence and Philip, and I think he was absolutely incredible. I'm a little bit biased because I love him. I loved him way before Hamilton, but I think that regarding the character, I feel like Lawrence was pretty much one of the stars of Act 1. Like, I don't think he needed any more screen time or character development. I think it was great. You got to know who he was, what he was trying to do, and all before he died, and I think that he doesn't need any more character development considering the plays about Hamilton, the musical is about Hamilton, not Lawrence. And I honestly think Angelica should have had a verse in Alexander Hamilton. She was important in his life too, and she was in his life longer than Lafayette and Mulligan. I guess I don't really agree with that because, like, she does say, like, me, I loved him, but they're not really talking about, like, their memories or anything with Hamilton. Like, they're talking about his life. So I don't think, like, she really needed a line in Alexander Hamilton. The next one says, my dream is to be on Broadway, and while I have a lot of dream roles, Eliza is one of them. My goal is to be the first Egyptian to star as her. And it's just that a lot of girls are so cutthroat. You say you want to play Eliza and they start trying to tear you down because they want it. I wish we could all be supportive of each other and not competitive. This industry is so competitive, like, you just have to know that going in. But if you want it bad enough, you'll be able to do it. You have to work hard. So I think it would be absolutely incredible to have an Egyptian Eliza. Me, like I'm casting, but they just casted a South Asian Eliza, and I think it's the Philip Company, and that's absolutely amazing. And I think that seeing that happen is great because it makes this person who wants to play an Egyptian Eliza, it makes that a little bit more of a reality, I guess you could say. I hope that happens for you. Never stop trying. So yeah. Next one says, I hate how people most times overlook the fact that Burr was not a heartless asshole for saying he's the one who died but I'm the one who paid for it. It's supposed to emphasize the fact that he killed his enemy. Sorry. it's not supposed to emphasize the fact that he killed his enemy. It's supposed to emphasize the fact that he came to realize that bitterness drove him to kill his best friend. I don't know if they were like best friends, but like, yeah, I agree. Like, that he's not trying to say like, oh, what is he not trying to say? Yeah, so it's not supposed to be like, oh, I killed him, but I'm suffering, like, you know, I'm just not gonna talk about this commission. Whenever I listen to Hamilton, it makes me think that the cast of In the Heights, sorry, this one's a little weird, and they had to do a community show about a founding father. I, have not listened to In the Heights yet. I know, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible. I want to, and I need to, and I will. But it is, if you really, like, think about it, like, so many people that were in the Heights were in Hamilton with Lynn. So I think that whatever this confessor is saying is true. I haven't seen Hamilton, but I've seen clips. I wish they used a kid as 9-year-old Philip. Ooh, excuse me. Don't get me wrong, I love Anthony, but I feel like the song would be more genuine if it was a little boy. I think, like, the thing is with having kids on Broadway is, like, yeah, School of Rock and Matilda, like, they both have, like, a lot of kids in there, but for this particular musical, it's only one scene that you need a 9-year-old kid every single day, pretty much, and, like, it's just not worth it to have a kid. Like, you could have the adult play the kid. Like, Jordan's 9-year-old kid was absolutely believable. If I didn't know he was, like, grown and, like, Jordan, I would never have thought. I would have thought it was a 9-year-old kid. He played it absolutely amazing. So I just don't think it's worth it to have a 9-year-old kid to play one scene. The next one is a really long one, so bear with me, okay? I hate when people say the casts cannot be replaced. Do you expect the cast to stay with the show 6 nights a week if a show is going to have an estimated 10-year run? Should the cast put their health below you wanting to see a show once? The cast should not be expected to put their lives on hold. They have families, children, and other projects. Someone's career cannot excel if they're stuck in one place. When the cast is replaced, it is by someone that has been taught and will perform the part to the best of their ability. Remember, those new cast members that you're trashing on, they're probably trying as hard as they can. Remember that the old cast members probably are made to feel guilty about leaving. They are humans behind the roles that we see. Please remember that. Hamilton is a great show, but it doesn't rule above someone else's health or family. I 100% agree. Was I upset when I bought my tickets thinking I was going to see the original Broadway cast? Absolutely. I bought my tickets when every single original Broadway cast member except for Graf Sauce was there. So I thought I was going to see the whole original Broadway cast. Turns out the only original Broadway cast member I saw was Andrew playing Lafayette and Jefferson. And I saw Thane playing Samuel Seabury. That's it. Everybody else was the new cast. But if the old cast stayed, I never would have got to see Jordan. And I love Jordan Fisher so much. I was so happy that I got to see him. So I never would have got to see Jordan. Also, Jovan played Hamilton, and he was absolutely exquisite. He was amazing. He was one of the greatest Hamiltons I've heard. He's up there with Lynn and Javi. If you close your eyes, you would have thought it was Lynn. He was incredible. And it's true. If the original Broadway cast stayed the whole time, there would be no room for growth. That confession I just read about the girl who wants to play the first Egyptian Broadway Eliza, that would never happen because the original Broadway cast will stay the whole time. So it's just like, it doesn't let them grow. Like, David never would have been able to be in Blackish. So yeah, I never got to see him for 2 hours on the Broadway stage as Lafayette and Jefferson, but I got to see him on my TV every single Tuesday playing, I forget his name. I just call him David, honestly. But I never would have got to see him in Wonder. Like, he was amazing in that too. Like, there's other opportunities that they wouldn't get to do because they're playing a show 6 nights a week. So I just think that, like, the way that Broadway works and how, like, there's contracts and people stay a certain amount of time, like, that's good because it lets other people have a chance to play the same roles that they also love. So the next confession says, Sia's cover of Satisfied ruined one of my favorite songs. I hated it, to be honest, and I wish someone else had sung it on the mixtape. I honestly forgot the mixtape even existed, but I remember when I was listening to the mixtape, I loved Satisfied. I loved it. It was great. I think Sia did an amazing job with it, and that's my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I liked it, so. The next one says, I originally hated Farmer Refuted. I saw no purpose in it besides Hamilton making Seabury uncomfortable. So yeah, after seeing the show, I loved Farmer Refuted, but it's like a visual thing. I have to be actually watching it to thoroughly enjoy it, because like what's happening on stage ties in with the music, and without the other one, they're kind of boring on its own. So the next confession says, everyone sees Burr as such a villain, but I think he's not. He just wants to keep up with Hamilton and be as good as him. Remember, Hamilton did some pretty bad things too. Cough, affair, cough. So, I agree. But also, like, nobody's perfect, so I'm not saying, yeah, like, Hamilton doing the affair, like, that's okay. Burr killing Hamilton, that's okay. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, everybody has a bad side, and, like, a lot of people just point out, like, Burr's the only bad person in the musical, which is, like, false. Because everybody has a bad side. Like, nobody's purely good. Except for maybe Eliza. So the next one says, and what did I miss? James is the desperate friend that needs Thomas to get them out of the mess they're in. In Cabinet Battle number 2, the little France from James infuriated me. I felt like they made James into Thomas's groupie ever since he was introduced. We never got to see James's intellectual value until Washington on Your Side in the election of 1800. It made me mad that he didn't get the credit he deserved for his brains until nearly the end of the musical. I honestly don't know anything about James Madison. All I know is what I know from the musical. So I can't say like, oh, they left out so much of his smarts and like all this, because I don't know anything about him. So I can't really speak on this one. But I felt like you know enough like for the musical. Like the musical is about Hamilton, not James. So like I guess like all you see in James is like what he like, how he impacts Hamilton, sorta, or like how he ties into Hamilton. It's not really like James's in-depth story, which it sounds like what this confessor wants. So yeah. The next one says, I think that the thing that broke Eliza's... No, I'm not going to read this one. My confession is that I never cried at Hamilton. I've been a Hamilton fan for a year, and I've listened to the soundtrack countless times, watched bootlegs, and even saw the musical a month ago. I still have never cried at it. I can listen to It's Quiet Uptown with a straight face, Stay Alive reprise, dry eye, even Who Lives Who Dies Who Tells Her Story. I say I cried when I saw Hamilton, but I barely even teared up. It's horrible, I know. I personally cried like a little baby, but I cry at every single Broadway musical. When I go see a musical, I cry. It doesn't even have to be on Broadway. As long as I'm watching a musical, I will cry. Like, I know what it feels like to be on that stage and like be so proud of what you just accomplished, and like that always like gets me worked up, and then I cry at like the curtain call almost always. But like Stay Alive reprise and like It's Quiet Uptown, I didn't really cry during It's Quiet Uptown. I mean, like, I kind of did because I was still crying from Stay Alive reprise. But, like, It's Quiet Uptown itself didn't really make me bawl or anything. But, like, yeah. I cried during Who Lives Who Dies Who Tells Her Story. I can cry singing it. Like, I'll sing it and I just start crying. Because I feel like that song is just so sad, and I don't know. I love it. I love when I really love something, I can cry instantly. Like, The Greatest Showman. I love The Greatest Showman. I will cry listening to, like, the main song, like The Greatest Showman. I'll cry just because like I love it and I get worked up and like I just get overwhelmed. But like, yeah, it's okay though. If you don't cry, you don't cry. You have a heart of stone. The next one says, I used to be a big Hamilton fan, but the fandom really ruined it for me. Everyone gets so defensive about ships and it ticks me off so much. Like, ship what you want. I don't care. Just don't get in fights about it and be mean about it. I completely agree. Ship whoever you want. I don't care that they were, like, a lot of people get mad because they're real people. Like, I don't really care about all that. Like, it's a fandom. Like, most people are shipping them, like, through the musical, like, not the actual historical figures, which I know the musical obviously is portraying those characters. But, like, honestly, who cares? Who cares? If somebody finds joy in shipping Mariah and Eliza, let them do it. Who cares? Ship whoever you want. I'm gonna ship who I want. We all love Hamilton. Let's just talk about that. The next one says, in Nonstop, when Angelica sings My Alexander and he responds with My Angelica, it breaks my heart. It's almost like Angelica was going to say I love you, but Alex decided not to after he didn't say my. It makes me cry every time. It was like she was not ever, it was like she was not ever her love for him, but he gave up on it. So sad. I mean, like, when you think about it, like, yeah, they had their little thing going on, but, like, in the end, like, Hamilton loved Eliza, and I am, like, the biggest, like, Hamilton and Angelica shipper. Like, I love them together, but, like, I know in the end, like, Hamilton loved Eliza. So, like, he's not going to say I love you to Angelica right in the musical. Like, that's not going to happen. So, the next one says, I feel like Your Obedient Servant is extremely underrated. I never hear people talk about it. It's honestly one of my favorites in the soundtrack. I honestly forget about Your Obedient Servant until I hear it. Like, I won't listen to it. Like, it's not on, like, my normal music playlist. So, like, when I do sit down and listen to Hamilton and I get to Your Obedient Servant, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a really good song. I forgot. So, yeah, I understand. Like, I completely believe, like, it is underrated. So, yeah. The next one says, just because you've seen Hamilton doesn't mean you know everything about his life. Some stuff is inaccurate, too, so don't go flaunting your knowledge. You'll get majorly called out. I completely agree. Like, the musical is inaccurate, so you can't be like, oh, I know everything about Alexander Hamilton, because you don't, because the musical, first of all, is inaccurate. It doesn't cover everything. If you want to know everything about Alexander Hamilton, read the book that the musical is based off of. I have it. I haven't read it, but I do have it. I do need to read it, though. I will eventually when I get the time. But yeah, like, if you're gonna say you know everything about Alexander Hamilton, make sure you do. There's two different things between saying I know everything about Hamilton the musical and saying I know everything about Alexander Hamilton. So just make sure you're clear on what you're saying you know everything about. The next one, we have only a few left. The next one says, I just wanted to say that it's cool to hear different instruments associated with different characters. For example, Eliza has harps in her songs, Angelica has piano, Burr has pizzicato strings and clapping, while Jefferson has a lot of bass. I love how Lin-Manuel Miranda sees his characters. I think that's super cool, and I did not know that. Like, I never heard and, like, connected that Angelica's songs have piano, or was it Eliza's songs have piano? No, Angelica has piano, Eliza has harps, and, like, Burr has pizzicato strings. Like, I never, like, connected that in, like, when I listened to the music. So it's cool that, like, I like this account, too, because, like, my Hamilton Confessions account, because I learned so much off of what you guys send me to post, and I think that's super cool. Like, I would have never caught that. The next thing is, I used to think that Alexander Hamilton wasn't real. I'm not an American, and I know nothing about American history. So I thought, wow. I thought Lynn made all of that up until George Washington showed up, and it turned out they were all actual people. I think that that's so cool that, like, there's people all over the world that love this musical, and they learn different things, and, like, this just proves that, like, no matter where you are, there's Hamilton fans everywhere, and I think that's super cool. So the next one is the last one. It says, when I was listening to Hamilton on Amazon Music, I would skip the song Take a Break because the first part sounded weird and I thought I wouldn't like it. Then I was cleaning my room and listening to Hamilton and I couldn't skip the song because I was cleaning something. Then I found out that this is my new favorite Hamilton song. So for me, I personally didn't listen to the whole musical, like, right away. I listened to just a few songs that I, like, heard of already before through my friend. So I'm wondering, do people, like, genuinely just go there and, like, pick a couple songs and listen to it, or, like, listen to it on shuffle? Because, like, when I actually sat down and, like, listened to the music for the first time, I had to listen to it in order, else I don't understand things. Like, I always listen to musicals in order when I listen to the songs, because I won't understand, and then I'll be like, wait, how did this happen? So I'm wondering, with this person, like, did you just, like, listen to only some songs, or, like, did you just listen to the thing on the, like, soundtrack on shuffle? Because, like, at the beginning I only listened to Alexander Hamilton, Satisfied, and I think My Shot, and then I was like, let me sit down and listen to this. But, like, I would have done that eventually. Do people just not sometimes, like, never listen to the whole musical? I was just wondering. Didn't mean for that to go on for so long. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for all the confessions today. If you guys like this, I might make it like a series and, like, switch it up, or, like, only read Eliza confessions, or only read Angelica confessions, or Hamilton ones. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. It was super fun to like make it and read and talk about things that I don't normally talk about anymore since I don't comment under the confessions anymore. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit like and subscribe to my channel so you can see more. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!